I'm Jan. I'm the Director of Animal Welfare here at Aspen Valley Wildlife Sanctuary, and you're watching our new vlog series. Aspen rehabilitates orphan and injured wildlife, and we also provide a home for over 30 permanent animals. Every day is a different adventure here at Aspen Valley, so come along with us and see what we're up to this week. Recently, Aspen received a call about 3 brown bats hibernating in the attic of the old Parry Sound Jail. Any other time this wouldn't be a problem, but the building that was built in the 1870s and closed its doors in 2001 was on schedule to be demolished in about a week's time. Of course, we didn't want anything bad to happen to the bats, so we agreed to go up into the attic and rescue them. Because asbestos was found in the attic, we had to wear the proper protective equipment. This is a good example of when you're renovating around a house or any building, you have to be mindful of your wildlife neighbors. If you ever come across a similar situation, you can always reach out for help and advice, just like this demolition crew, who were nice enough to care about the well-being of these animals. Finding the bats again took some time. It was a pretty big attic, and these guys are really good at hiding. I know we're disturbing you, but it's better than the alternative. Got him. Once all the bats were collected, we headed back downstairs through all the old jail cells. For years, this jail has been a part of the town's ghost tour and is considered one of the most haunted buildings in the town of Parry Sound. After my time in here, I could definitely see why.
Big brown bats are the most common bats we receive at Aspen. It's likely because they prefer to inhabit cities, towns, and rural areas instead of heavily forested regions. Besides houses, they generally take up residence in barns, silos, churches, as well as old prisons apparently. Being insectivorous, they must limit their feeding activity to the warmer months when prey are active. Therefore, they must accumulate enough fat reserves, as much as a third of their body weight, before entering hibernation.
A couple of days later, we were once again back at the demolition site, but this time it was pigeons that needed rescuing. The attic the pigeons made home was about to be sealed up for the demolition. The crew, of course, did not want to seal the birds inside, so our job was to flush the adults out and gather all the babies. This attic was above the courtroom of the old courthouse, and because court was currently in session at the time, we had to keep really quiet. As we got closer to the pigeons, we could see that there were around 30 adults, 8 babies at various stages, and numerous eggs that hadn't hatched yet. Our first job was to catch up all the young birds that were unable to fly and put them in a crate to keep them safe.
They're just fed. Okay, great. Got him. Yeah. That's a bigger baby. Okay, hold on.
The next step was to flush out all the adults so the demolition crew could seal the hole. The last step was to gather the eggs. Most of the eggs were infertile or really cold. The ones that looked viable were brought back to the sanctuary and placed into an incubator. Back at Aspen, we used a technique called candling to see if the eggs were viable. 2 eggs showed signs of an embryo that was developing well. Rock dove eggs have an incubation period of about 18 days. Because of the activity of the building being demolished, reuniting the babies with the adults wasn't an option. Overall, the babies were really healthy. The older ones were able to eat on their own, but the younger ones needed to be force-fed. The tip of the syringe is about the same size as the beak of an adult pigeon, so it's really easy to feed these little guys. These were the 4 youngest babies, and they will stay with us until spring. A few days after the rescue, 2 of the eggs hatched. In about a month from now, these 2 little dudes could be learning to fly.
Hey, my name's Shayla and I'm one of the full-time animal care volunteers here at Aspen. And I'm a returnee, so I've been here a couple times in the past in different times of year. And I always love coming back to Aspen. I get to work with new species every time, learn new skills, meet other like-minded people. And what's cool is that there are different things going on at every different time of year. So right now we're getting ready for springtime, which is our busy baby season. So before we know it, we'll have hundreds of baby animals on site in need of care. And a lot of those animals are going to be raccoons, which are some of my absolute favorites to work with. They're so playful and curious. So we've all been really busy getting rooms ready for all of those hundreds of babies that are coming in. And we also actually have 5 raccoons on site right now that were babies last fall, so late season babies that I got to raise when I was here at that time of year. And now it's been great to see them all grown up and hopefully returning to the wild soon.
Before going into our raccoon enclosures, we put on boots and gloves to protect their health and reduce the risk of potential disease spread between different areas on our property. Every morning, the raccoons get fresh food, water, and enrichment and have their enclosure cleaned. Since raccoons are naturally omnivores, we feed them kibble, fruits and veggies, and a variety of protein sources, including meat, fish, and eggs. We fill their enclosure with items to simulate their natural environment in the wild, including a pool, logs, branches, and evergreen trees. These babies started in our care over 6 months ago as infants, weighing only a few hundred grams, but are now almost 8 or 9 kilograms and love spending their days practicing climbing in their enclosure and lounging in their hammock. Once food sources become readily available in the springtime, they'll be ready to return to the wild. This stage of their rehabilitation is all about getting prepared for release and gaining life skills. Today, the raccoons got fish added to their water so that they can practice their hunting skills. This will not only teach them about acquiring food in the wild, but since raccoons have a very sensitive sense of touch for exploring their environment, this is also a great form of tactile enrichment.
Thanks for watching this week's vlog. If you would like to support Aspen Valley, you can go to our website at aspenvalley.ca. See you next time. Bye.